Hey, movie fans. So the first thing I'm going to talk about today is the Flash movie. Now, I saw it at a special screening event ahead of time before it comes out with my buddy Justin. Let me say this, there will be spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen the movie, stop the video now. One thing I want to point out before I review this movie is that there's been some reviews that I've seen that have just hate this movie based on their personal feelings toward Ezra Miller. And look, I'm not a fan of Ezra Miller. He shouldn't be back playing Flash at this. I love him in the role, but he should not be back playing Flash after this. But at the end of the day, if you're going to review this movie and you can't put your personal feelings aside, you shouldn't review this movie. Because his behavior has nothing to do with the quality of the movie or his performance. That's the thing that's kind of annoying me about some of these reviews. Not a lot of them, but some of these reviews where I'm just like, you judge the movie as a movie when it comes to the acting, the writing, cinematography, tone, visual effects, action scenes, stuff like that. The actor's behavior has nothing to do with the quality of the movie or his performance. So just, if you can't put aside your feelings towards Ezra Miller, then don't review the movie. Don't see it. Because I just, personally, I lose respect for you as a reviewer. Because to me, you're not reviewing the movie. You're not judging the movie as a movie. You're putting your feelings towards Ezra Miller. And that to me isn't right. Because there's thousands of people that work on this movie. And look, you cannot like him. You can do it. You can make a set video about. You can do a video about why you don't like Ezra Miller. I don't care, but when you review this movie, you review the movie. You don't review his behavior. It has nothing to do with how that affects the quality of the movie. So I just wanted to point that out. Again, this is some reviews that I've seen that have done that, but it's something that kind of annoys me. Negatives with this movie, and let me say this: I love this movie. It's a great movie. It's definitely a movie I'll go see a second time in theaters, but this movie isn't perfect. First thing out is a negative for me is that I know this was a choice by the director. This was a creative choice. The effects look really rough at times, and this is a movie that's been in development for years. And yeah, I know he said, he was trying to make the Speed Force kind of have a water effect look to it from Barry's point of view. But just because there's a creative decision, that doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody. And just the way it looks for me doesn't look good in this movie. And even outside of the Speed Force, like the stuff with the babies at the beginning, the opening baby acting sequence with the Flash, even that looks a little rough for me too. Like it looks like a movie with effects won't finish. Especially when you compare it to something like Guardians Galaxy Volume 3, where the effects look great in that, and in this movie the effects just look like they were halfway done but didn't finish them. Again, I get the creative decision, but the effects personally didn't work for me in this. Another negative is that, let me say this, 95% of humor really works for me in this movie. It's really funny. It never puts me out of dramatic moments. But I would say there's about 5% of the humor in this that's a little silly for me. So it doesn't quite hit that perfect balance for me, like some comic book movies, like Guardians Galaxy Volume 3 or Spider-Verse did this year. But it hits a really good balance of humor and dramatic moments. It's just like 5%, a little bit of the humor in this movie is just a little silly for me. It doesn't pull me out of dramatic moments, but it did just a little bit fall flat for me. Then that's negative, and this is something, a nitpick that I think I'm only going to have. I don't think a lot of people are going to notice. Is that Ezra, when he's playing a second Barry, he has this really obnoxious laugh throughout the movie. That sounds quins. It's like he does this really annoying laugh, and I'm just like, this is. I just found it to be annoying, especially he does it multiple times in this movie. I'm just like, it's like one of those laughs you hear from somebody where you go like, where you just go like, man, that person sounds annoying. The laugh. This is something that I noticed. This is a nitpick. I know not a lot of people will be bothered by this, but it was something that kind of something that bothered me, especially when he did the laugh multiple times. The positive with this movie is that Ezra is great as Barry. He does a great job making both Barrys feel distinctly different, and I love him as Flash and Barry. I really love this version. Yeah, he does a great job with the emotional moments in this movie. There's some really funny moments with his character too. So, but he's always been a great Barry Flash for me personally. And I can understand why his Barry doesn't work for everybody though. I can I know some people find his Barry a little goofy, so I can understand why his Barry doesn't really land for everybody. But I don't know, his version of Barry really works for me. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are fantastic in this. They're both great as Batman. I love seeing Michael Keaton back because I grew up on the Tim Burton Batman movies. But yeah, I thought like they were both fantastic in this. I love the scenes with Barry too. And the actually played Supergirl fantastic in this too. She was great in this movie. Like, but I can also understand why she wouldn't be Supergirl in James Gunn's DC movie. That's part of the new DC universe. I know they don't have a writer director for that movie yet, obviously, because it's far away. But I can understand why she wouldn't be part of that movie the way her story ends. She does a great. I think they do a great job making Supergirl and Superman feel different in this universe. I just love though, and in fact, she's only in the movie, not in the movie a lot. I cared more about her in this than I ever felt about Henry Cavill's Superman in all the movies he did. So it's just, I thought she was great in this movie, fantastic. I really hope to see more of her and stuff after this. I thought it was really cool with the villain, who the villain was at the end of this movie. I know the director did confirm that Rose Flash did kill Barry's mother in this. It was something they were going to explore in the sequel, which is why you don't see Reverse Flash in this. Because I do like that fact that they keep it where it is Reverse Flash that kills Barry's mother, but it was something they kind of were going to explore in the sequel. But I thought the villain they had for this movie, I thought was really cool. Even though I think the effects on the black costume for the villain looked a little, again, wonky with the effects. There's a lot of great fan service and cameos at the end of this movie, like Nicolas Cage. I love seeing Christopher Reeve Superman and Harry Styles Supergirl next to each other because they were part of the same universe. Those Christopher Reeve and Supergirl movie. Even though I don't think technology-wise we're at the point where we can bring back dead actors, and it still has that uncanny valley to them. Like Ghostbusters Afterlife did a great job, but again, that was a movie where you bring somebody back as a ghost. I don't think we're at the point yet, though, when it comes to bringing somebody back to look like like a living person. It still has that uncanny valley effect to it, where it just looks a little fake, and it looked rough to me in this movie. So great fan service. I thought this movie had, like I said, a pretty great balance of humor and dramatic moments. I thought this had a lot of great emotional moments. I thought the third act was great. I know some people had issues with the third act, but I could see that because this is a movie that's went through like three different endings. I heard, and it's been reconfigured with different regimes, different directors, different writers. So I can understand if this movie feels a little choppy for some people. I can see why people would have issues with the third act. This is a movie that's you can tell has been worked on a couple of times. But at the end of the day, I thought there was a lot of great emotional moments in that movie. I thought the action was really good. When it comes to Joe Clooney popping up as Batman at the end, I thought that was funny. It was the one I least suspected, but I don't ever want to see him back as Batman. No offense, Joe Clooney, great actor, but he was an awful Batman. That's one storyline I don't want to see picked up. And this movie does end in a way, and there is a mid-credit scene that this movie did. The movie does end in a way you can where you can see why this Flash movie wouldn't be part of the new DC universe. It does end in a way where it's like, yeah, you want to be able to connect this with the new DC movies. But overall, I thought this was a great movie. Like I said, I loved it. It's not a perfect movie. There's some flaws with it. It's not going to end up being like my favorite comic book this year. Like I would put it in the third place, where I would put Spider-Verse and Guardians 3 above this movie personally. Still a great movie, but like I said, not a perfect movie. But I would definitely recommend people see this in theaters. Until next time, movie fans.